to watch because of the background between these two teams. But we've seen the lineups. We have Nigma coming in with this very sort of fast-paced role with the Beastmaster, the Chen, this core Batrider from Weehaw. Yeah. And but at the same time, you know, Liquid, they've got good answers to it, right? They've got good D push, this Wyvern, this Grimstroke, and they've also got some pretty scary core heroes that Nigma could start to struggle against as the game goes on.
Absolutely. I think Nigma is really going to try to set the tempo here. I think that's in particular why I actually think I was suggesting to you, I was like, the Batrider actually looks amazing this game, right? Like, you look at it, you're versus Timber, you're versus Wyvern, immediately you're going to have a good setup for the game. It just makes their draft a little bit single target oriented when I look at the majority of it, but I don't know if they mind too much because the point of their draft is just to group up and go, right? So if they can actually just group up, and if they're strong enough with an advantage coming into that point, then they won't have to worry about all that mass, you know, team fight and everything that they normally would have to.
Yeah, and as we sort of heard from the panel, you know, they were talking about the importance of lane setups. Do you think we are going to see some sort of musical lanes? Is there a certain matchup that a team has to avoid to make sure they don't get totally destroyed in one of the lanes early on?
It's the biggest one, like Sin was saying. It's the Batrider plus the Timbersaw. And right now it does look like that Batrider Weehaw is going to be in position to be versus Boxy at the moment. Definitely liking that quite a bit.
We'll
and then, as I believe they also said, the Ricky and the Chen, like, what are they really going to do versus a Timbersaw? Like, the first level, they can hit him a little bit, but level 3 hits, you're not going to kill him ever. So that's why they move it down bottom, running this aggro lane. Miracle.
It's taking quite a beating here. We'll be able to get the jump off, but they're staying on top of them. Another jump over towards Kuro will allow him to get far enough away. Liquid won't be able to chase forward, but now, you know, both teams are going to get good info with regards to the lane setups. We'll see if there are any movements because of this. As you say, Boxy may not want to stay up top on his own against that bat. The mid lane matchup, Quakefer on his signature lone druid going up against Mind Control's Beastmaster here in the mid with the way that the side lanes have panned out. You know, Beastmaster, you always feel pretty happy laning as a Beastmaster, but at the same time, Quakefer, he's got the 2 units and he's a pretty good lone druid. So do you think Mind Control's going to struggle here, or should we see even farm in mid?
I would actually think that would be even because Beastmaster has such a good animation and still like higher base damage. You just look at it, 63 in comparison to 41, but it's all going to be how much they can time the hits together because they all have those. They both have summons, so
yeah.
And immediately we see top Boxy. He knows. He's like, I ain't playing versus a Batrider. Cut in the lane. Exactly what he should be doing here. See how Weehaw does decide to react. If he's going to drag the creeps to neutrals to maximize, or if he's going to drag the creeps to try to contest. Probably just maximize for him.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much going to be the passive lane. Down bottom, this is where all the action is. And he is going to get it there. Boxy, of course, with his positioning deep in the lane, the courier is going to have to make a long journey, and we are in prime position to cut off that courier's traveling. So the courier going down up top. And yeah, this bottom lane, the tri-lane on tri-lane action here between Liquid and Nigma. I mean, which tri-lane would you be happier to be a part of down in this bottom half of the map?
Tower needs some friend.
Probably still Liquid's. They have a great aggressive potential. We see right now already onto Miracle. Yeah, he gets brought down very quickly. I think they just have, they just have better traditional supports, and without any creeps, like Chen's gonna struggle. Mirana is really just based like, do I land the arrow? Yes, that's going to be great, but if you don't, you're not going to contribute too much into the lane here. So, yeah, definitely liking what Liquid's doing right now.
Yeah, they've got some great damage coming out from both the Grim and the Wyvern early on. It really puts Miracle in a very dangerous position. Mickey himself, at least with some safety if he does get gone on with the use of that Resonant Pulse. Miracle, if he doesn't get those Blink Strikes off in time, he's going to take massive amounts of nuke damage very early on in the lane.
I like the Void Spirit in a Tri-lane, like when he's against one too, right? You're actually just so much stronger. You're going to be so much tankier. If you do hit the triple heroes with your Resonant Pulse, should be pretty nice for his Absorb.
Yeah, that makes it very hard for Nigma really to go on him. If anything, Nigma are going to be finding kills on the supports if they're out of position. But
ooh, Kuroki.
It's Kuro that's taking a bit of the brunt of the attack as Tiger's able to lead in, hit him with the stun, pulled back by the Remnant. Kuro pots the Fairy Fire. They're trying to bring down Tiger first. They will get it. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Maybe they can turn it into more Nigma as they look towards Mickey. Mickey's got the Resonant Pulse, giving him some protection, but it is enough. Jump forward with the leap. GH, he's trying to finish the kill, but he's under the tower. He hasn't got enough damage to finish Mickey as Mickey tangos and sows back up to safety. Both teams really going for it. On the bottom lane, top lane, Boxy able to get a bit of revenge. Deep there by the tier 3, we will be able to cut down Weehaw's couriers. So Trey's continuing that. His courier himself, again, having to make a very, very deep journey there onto Nigma's side of the map. We'll see if that does manage to get back safely. He's got to be careful with it.
GH got a big kill on the courier too down bottom. He actually killed the full Bassi, I believe, of Taiga off of it, so that would be pretty nice for them to have inside of the lane, but they won't now for the time being. Looking like it's GH making a move toward mid. He wants to put a ward up in potential to just watch at least for the rune rotation. Maybe he can try to set something up here. Bit tough for the lone druid.
No, for sure. Hasn't, of course, got the raw skill yet, but even so, just the 2 units. You have to be careful if you do start to dive this hero. It's very easy. One route and suddenly the whole move's turned around.
This
bottom lane.
Be a very farm Bat Rider. Gonna have rushed bots very early, but yeah, bottom Kuro.
Another kill. As soon as they lose one here and it's 2 versus 3, it's hard for Nigma to really strike back, as you say. Having this Mirana support, if the arrows aren't hitting, the impact felt is very low. It's much easier to have an impact as the Wyvern or the Grimstroke in this lane. It's much trickier for GH to find things early on. He's going to start making that move, as you said, around the map. Very, very hard to do.
Farming movements, right? I think he's just trying to arrow some creeps here, because killing a lone druid when you don't have roar is just not going to happen. Maybe soon, though. We do see it's almost level 6 on the Beastmaster here. GH starting to position himself a little better. He does actually also get that arrow there. And is he looking for a courier?
Just trying to make his way up to the top half of the map. Already. As you say, both offlaners having a good time. Weehart just a slight better. In fact, going to come over towards Boxy. Is low on the mana though, so not too much that Weehart can do. And Boxy will be able to make sure that that bounty rune is picked up. GH
is here, and he has a mango for Weehart too.
There's a few stacks on the Timbersaw as well. Then they go with the Firefly. A quick timber chain away. GH has got to find the angle. He needs to hit this arrow if they want to have a chance of killing Boxy. Jump forward. There's the arrow with slope from the napalm. It's enough to set up for an easy connection as Nigma are able to take down Boxy from the top lane.
Love that move from him. That's like totally unexpected too, because the route he took, he snuck all the way across mid lane, gets the bounty rune, and then mangoes his Bat Rider. Yeah, Foxy did not see that one coming. And now Weehaw has boots to travel at 5 minutes with a Beastmaster on his team. The global potential and a Chen, it's going to be pretty high.
Yeah, and this is the key to the timings that Nigma wants to play to with their lineup.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we mentioned he does have those good matchups in particular, right? And he's already versus the Timber the whole time, and later on versus the Wyvern. And with early bots, getting on top of these targets is going to be quite easy for himself.
You would imagine that this would obviously have been something that Liquid, it's not going to catch them by surprise, right? They knew that top lane was going to be the Timber. They were leaving against the Bat. They know that the Bat's going to get free farm. So yeah, Liquid as a team obviously feel that the resources are better spent securing the other lanes. And that's certainly happening. You know, Koifa's farm, it's been entirely free in the mid lane. He couldn't have had a better start in the 1v1. He's just free farming as this lone druid. And down bottom, we've seen sort of the trial in it slightly favouring Liquid. Overall, it's not bad for Miracle. Miracle's still getting good farm. He's going to try and jump in. And with the pullback from the Remnant, he's in a bit of trouble. Tiger hits him with a stun to hold back Kuro. TP's coming in from Weehart. In they go. Weehart's going to look to try and get on top of Mickey. He's a little on the mana. He's got a mango. Will pop it. It's not enough mana for the lasso, but he may not need it by the looks of it. A lot of napalm stacks on Mickey. He's over him with the Firefly. Weehart will be able to take him down with that first bot's movement.
And I love how they did it too, right? They glyphed the creep wave and he TPs into it, so they can't actually do anything to kill it off. That's a very nice move there. And I like how they're using Weehaw. I love when I see teams do that. Just like, hey, one of our lanes is not doing so hot. Our other guy is dominating. Just have him go fix and clean things up really quickly. We'll give Boxy some time to catch back up. Not too much, though, as Weehaw will have his TP ready again.
And what's sort of Boxy's best route for items this game? Is there a certain Ori that you want to see him rushing straight up to help out his team in these early fights?
Oh, it's just a tough. Every time I see a Timber versus Baron, it's hard. But mid lane,
it's another movement. Weehart getting incredibly active. Koifa does manage to get the true form off. It's not enough to save him. Not quite tanky enough with the use of the 2 ults of Mind Control and Weehart. They take down Koifa. Nigma, they are really picking up the pace, and Weehart being everywhere that he needs to. Already 3 kills on the Bat Rider. His game off to a brilliant start.
Yeah, and like you said, this is exactly what they're asking for. They have a Chen Beastmaster lineup. It's all about just setting the tempo early on. Miracle, Gonna get aggressive bottom. He's got the 13 ones, but he's a little afraid of pushing forward here. And watch Weehaw again. Running back to base when he's semi-low on mana, preparing for the next movement. He knows that this is all he has to do in this game right now. His farm is done. He just has to play aggressive and keep that, keep his face on the map and just keep scaring Liquid around. Now, Boxy's getting Broom. He's going up top to mess with Box.
So the mid GH actually grabbing the top wave and bringing it over to the mid lane. Speeding up mind control a little more, speeding up the timings as he looks to level up his Necro book.
It's going to be quick timing on those. Top net worth on this Beastmaster.
With GH again up top, the two of them, they did it before, they can certainly do it again. Boxy has to be careful, trying his best to move away from this Weehaw, keeping the napalm stacks upon him, slowly slowing him down even more. He goes for the TP, will the arrow reach in time? It won't. Boxy just able to pull himself far enough away from GH's movement to ensure that he could get out before that arrow connects.
Looking at this aggressive warding game right now, I believe it's just been GH placing all of them, but it's phenomenal how much vision he's able to get. Even denies the obs ward that Insania was trying to take.
Back towards the river. Liquid, they do look to go on to Mind Control, but Mind Control, he just turns with the roll. Koifa just dies to the army. The balls in the Necro book take him down. Tiger's also going to fall as Weehar's able to charge straight in. They're even moving over towards Mickey. He tries to put down the Remnant, but Weehar's already in with the lasso, dragging Mickey back. Mickey's got 15-1 charges, but it doesn't matter. Knocked back into the arrow. Nigma take a third kill. Everything going Nigma's way so far, and a very awkward death there from Koifa as he tried to step forward. Mind control, I think there's 3 heroes trying to go for him. He just turns, roars, and the lone druid dies in front of his teammates.
And this is a draft you can't make. You can't make many of those mistakes. Like, you're going to start losing all your tier 1s very early on, and this is a draft that can also just take Roche. And now Miracle's got all the space in the world. We said he had a little bit of a tough start. Now when there's so much chaos on the map, he has a free game to just farm away while his Batrider and his Beastmaster just dictate the pace for a bit. Liquid have to try to fix this at the moment here.
A very early lead here. 10 minutes in, already a 5k advantage for Nigma.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a
now they, of course, have the usage of that Moonlight Shadow ready to set up more. The vision game is going to be incredibly strong for Team Nigma this match. Having Mind Control as the Beastmaster, and the Beastmaster that's just a couple of 100 gold off from having that Necro 3.
My God. That is, that Necro 3 is going to be pretty devastating.
Up top.
Boxy.
See what they can do here. GH has already thrown out the arrow. They may not even need it, though. Weehaw is just on top of Boxy. Boxy chaining away. Insania's there to help try and push Weehaw back. He'll use the curse to ensure that he can't close in on the Boxy anymore. GH jumps in with the magical nuke. It's not quite enough, but Boxy still ends up going to his death as he timber change back into the Firefly. He wasn't needed. I don't think the damage from the Timber Saw was needed to kill Weehaw, but Boxy just offered up his life.
He really wanted to get the kill, you know? Just wanted to see. They get something, and now maybe they're going to try to turn it into tower push here, but Mind Control is walking up. His Book 2 is available. Book 3 is coming out of the Courier. He might just make the move to go right away.
Yeah, whoever he rolls
from Liquid
is going to die here already. Mickey trying to deal with the army that Mind Control is sending in. Weehaw will be denied there, the entry, as Mickey's able to cut down the unit he was TPing into. And with that in mind, Mind Control just gets turned upon by Liquid. Nigma flipping up a little bit, giving Liquid a bit of a chance to take an objective themselves as this tier 1 top lane is being pushed down. Down bottom. Kuro enjoying sort of the solo life, picking up a bit of farm himself as he tries to finish up what will be a very decent timing of the Helm on this chat.
It looks like they wanted to go, but maybe he botched on the wrong creep, because they had Glyph available. I thought he was going to bots on one of the regular creeps, but he botsed on a boar, so then they didn't Glyph, and I think everything just kind of got messed up from there. So, misstep by Nigma. Liquid capitalizes, gets himself a big tower. They're still getting stalked.
Yeah, we are still trying to find a way to get in, but Koifa, nice with the micro, just holding the bear in between Weehaw and the rest of his teammates. Mickey still a lot of stacks on this Void Spirit. Not an easy catch, though, with the 2 charges of the Astral Step. He's always able to jump away. Over towards the mid, they know Boxy's alone. With the fact that they saw Liquid up top, they'll go instantly onto him with the Roar. He tries to chain away, but Kuro's there with the summons. And Boxy will fall, playing a little too aggressively on his own there around behind that mid-tier 1 tower.
That's a very aggressive place when you're playing versus a Chen. and a Bat Rider with bots. They can just recall people and also bots in. A very deep place for Boxy to be. But I guess he's just trying to make space somehow to give Koikfa a potential to catch back up, and Mickey as well. I'm looking at Mickey, and for all the success that was bottom, he's looking very unequipped to actually deal with almost anything. He's got the Yules being built up, but he's very fragile in the next few moments.
Yeah, this is not going to be a core hero that'll be too threatening anytime soon, especially against a team that's going to be moving down your lane with a lot of units. If you lose a fight, Nigma will take towers very quickly for this early on in the game, and indeed the bear already suffering an immense amount of damage as they move in onto it. Koikfa will still keep it just alive. Boxy, he's jumped in again underneath the tower. Will manage to chain away, but Weeha is chasing him down. A remnant will be dropped. Boxy, he's been silenced by the cloud. Miracle jumps forward. They'll block him off as well. There's no escape for Boxy. Another death around the mid. The curse is used. Can Liquid turn around on this? It doesn't look like it. I mean, well, I say that. They're trying. Mickey's leading forward, but they just don't have the damage. Nigma do not care about Mickey at this point in time. They move their attention back over towards Koikfa's bear. They will finally be able to take it, so 300 gold going the way of Nigma. The rest of Liquid, they've just got to retreat. Koikfa will go with the resummon onto the bear. Nigma a little hesitant about diving any closer towards this tier 2. They will start to poke at the bear. Another flame break back. This was a fresh summon. He's got to be careful, Koikfa. The embrace comes out. They're doing their best to keep that bear alive, but it's not going to work. That is the bear gone. No resummon for 100 seconds on Koikfa.
Miracle does go down for it, though.
Nigma and the mind control still trying to poke. Burrow from the back. Able to get the wrap in. Tiger, he's turning, but he can't. He's too squishy at this point. They're not Boxy back in. Boxy, 5 stacks of napalm upon him. Liquid, another team fight that they lose drastically.
And an interesting build, too. I just saw that. So I saw how fast Kuroki actually killed the Wyvern. If you look, he actually has 3 or 4 points, 3 points in penitence. So that bear, he throws penitence on it, and everything is just destroying it so quickly. They're continuing to set the pace. And arrow.
GH. A lovely little arrow there. Just down the line of the cliff, catching Mickey off guard. The Hawk from Mind Control allowing that one to be set up. As they really are continuing to play fast. Nigma, 7k lead 15 minutes in. It's going to be a tough game, and as I say, losing the bears, he is, Koikfa is a whole, over a minute of gameplay where he's just playing as a lone druid with brown boots. That's all he's got. Still for another 30 more seconds will heavily slow down his farm that's already taken a hit. You can see on the net worth, the top 3 cores, all that of Nigma so far this game.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like I keep saying the Miracle's had a bit of a quiet one, but just talking about his hero versus what Liquid does have, this Riki, versus Void Spirit, it's a dream. Cloud is always going to be fantastic versus Timber as well, versus these supports. Just information that you get from the Riki alone versus this team is extremely valuable, and we'll see him start to build his way back up. But the rest of his team is just kind of carrying him already.
Yeah.
Playing very aggressive.
Got the Vladstone, so an additional aura added into the armory of Nigma.
And they're watching this movement already by Boxy. They have 2 wards already positioned around this top tower.
And he's quite far alone.
There's a lasso in 1 second.
Making his way over, but they'll just turn on Insania. Delete the threat of the curse. And it'll only take a second. Mind control with a quick roar, and Insania is gone. They have to back out of this area of the map. It will be another tower for Nigma as objectives continue to fall, and we get close to the point where they could look to take Roche themselves. But getting all the items required, they can take sort of any objective they wish. Miracle, he's even trying to make a play on the Koikfa. Koikfa does manage to get the true form out, but GH is there with the wraparound. Jump forward with the new Koikfa. He's going to go down for sure here. It's another kill for Nigma, another death for Koikfa. As Liquid, they are struggling to get their game online. Nigma, they came in with this draft, and so far, everything's kind of gone as I think Kuro expected to from his draft.
Yeah, I mean, the lanes were pretty ideal for him. The bottom one, I would say, was kind of, Miracle was having a little bit of a tough time. But when you have your Bat Rider get 5-minute boots of travels and pretty much be involved in every lane from that point, it changes the whole pace of the game. And with GH having such successful rotations, it's been phenomenal. I mean, this is a Spirit Vessel finished up so early, and Spirit Vessel versus Lone Druid versus Timbersaw versus Wyvern, amazing item.
They're going to take the time to jump out of the pit, get a few kills before they finish it. Insania was trying to get out, take a bit of coverage back in his favor, something that's incredibly hard to do so, of course, against the way that Nigma's heroes are able to abuse the vision. with the Beastmaster, with the Necro books. You're just constantly losing control of your whole half of the map.
Yeah, and you're getting sandwiched on over and over again because they also have a Riki who's invisible, a Hawk, and a Moonlight Shadow also to get them on top of you as well. So you're spending a ton of money on these Sentry Wards to be able to cover yourself. As you see, the 2 supports on Liquid are very broke, and they still can't actually protect it.
I mean, are we seeing any sort of item from Liquid's heroes that could change the upcoming engagements? What are we seeing? Quaver on top of the Mask of Madness. He's got a Javelin, that's about it. Miracle, he's just cleaning up supports with the Diffusal Blade. It's going to happen. They do manage to get a bit of lockdown onto GH, but GH, he's got the full gang around. His mind control turns with a roar. Right onto the 2 of them into the arrow. Couldn't have written it any better. Nigma, triple kill for Miracle. They are rolling over Liquid right now in this game 1.
This might be a good time to call this one. When you're playing versus this type of draft, you're getting trapped in your base.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm going to say that's not true. My prediction for quickest game of the day was 20 to 30 minutes. So if they could hold on for another minute, I'll be happy. Don't call it yet.
This deluge.
Oh no, you're right. It was 18 to 30.
18. We're
right.
good, man.
They can call it. They can call it. I've already got my prediction right. I was assuming that there's not going to be a game faster than this today, but I don't see anyone winning a game faster than this today.
Oh, we got
very fast.
Oh, look at him go.
He's able to just take Quaver right out of the base. True form or not, it doesn't matter. Quaver taking a heavy old beat down. Miracle jumps in straight onto Insania. They'll turn over towards Boxy. The Vessel crushing him here as he has to retreat with the Timber Chain. They just cannot fight into Nigma's lineup with the heroes they have.
Nope, and Weehaw had a regen rune. He's fully reset. Miracle has an Aegis. He's standing in the front lines. They're trying to bring down that Aegis, but he is holding his ground amongst his team.
Fortification buys them a little brief moment of respite. But you know that Nigma is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Boxy, again, getting knocked out. He has been silenced. The cloud down. The arrow comes in. Won't find the connection. Weehaw does get heavily stunned. They pop the heal. Hand of God won't save it. Liquid are able to take down one of the strong cores of Nigma. Weehaw's gone. See what they can do with it, though. It's not going to be a lot. As soon as they step outside of the base after killing one of the heroes, the other 4 members of Nigma, they're still hanging around. They blow up Mickey, turn over towards Tiger. Killing one hero is just not enough right now. They need so much more than that off the back of a defense to actually be able to leave the base. Nigma with the 16k lead, they're not letting Liquid get away with anything.
No, and they can continue. Yeah, they can just keep this pressure up. They don't really have to give them any availability to move outside of the map because, as we mentioned, they have such good ways of trapping them there with that Riki, with that Beastmaster, with that Mirana ult. And their lanes are all going to get pushed into from the summons. We're going to probably see Kuroki push in bottom with his minions, and then Mind Control push in top, and then one hero can kind of pressure mid a little bit, and there's not really a great avenue for Liquid to fix their lanes and fix themselves to actually have any room on the map to breathe.
There we go, the sort of the last hurrah, you would imagine, from this smoke. Everybody making a move out of the base together from Liquid. Nigma are pretty prepared, though. Miracle already with a wraparound in place. They do lead in onto Weehaw, trying to fully commit to bring down the bat. With the root, they will be able to do so. They get Weehaw. Can they get more? They turn over towards Miracle. Miracle is underneath the tower, does still have the Aegis. A buyback comes in from Insania. They'll pop him the once. See if they can set up for a second time. As it's deep by this tier 2. Instant root. They'll be able to bring him down again. Liquid.
Okay.
May be able to turn the tables just a little bit. They do need more from this. They are trying to chase for it. The rest of Nigma are on the retreat. Mickey, he finds the grab. The remnants out. He's able to pull back Mind Control. Mind Control turns with the roar onto the bear to make sure that he doesn't get rooted. But Mickey, he's the one with further control. Uses up Mind Control. The bear closes in. It's a 3rd kill for Liquid as Nigma slip up.
Well, killed the book. Oh, that was a nice bait play by Liquid, though. Just setting up for Boxy down bottom. I didn't see, but I think Weehaw actually had a second to use his BKB. But anyway, back to the game quickly as Mickey.
Still got the Dissimilate and a couple of Astral Steps, but perfect timing for Kuro. He's in with the Centaur. There's no chance for the Dissimilate animation.
GH trying to line up for the arrow.
Arrow won't quite make it, and Boxy does have that Invis rune. No detection on the front lines. Boxy will be able to sneak away. So breaking a little bit of this monstrous lead that Nigma has had so far. It's knocked sort of down the 17k to the 16k. They're going to need a fair few more of those maneuvers if they do want to regain control, but definitely a glimpse from Liquid that shows that maybe it is possible for them to slow down this game and turn it around, and especially so at a point where they are still yet to lose a tier 3 tower. And this, of course, it gets to the point of the game where it's the next challenge, right? Sure, we've seen Nigma be able to take control of the map, but can they successfully push high ground without losing to the defense of Liquid? And so far, we've seen Liquid's defense hold pretty strong.
Absolutely. I think the next biggest step, at least for Enigma to really kind of close it, is get that Blink Dagger on the Batrider, because he has a little bit of a tough way getting in right now. He just has to Firefly and BKB and sort of run in. So with that Blink, I think piercing high ground is going to start to change quite quickly.
We have Weeha. 10 seconds to the lasso. Okay. Having a bit of a poke at this. They go in with the bear. Swell on in, but Weeha's able to keep the distance with his favorable movement speed. Boxy's still out holding the creeps off the tier 2 tower. Another smoke from Liquid. They'll start to step out once more. Weeha getting a little bit low. Feeling confident with the backup of his team and the fact he does still have the BKB ready to pop if he feels threatened. Liquid is stepping out. Still with a few heroes under the cover of smoke. Another remnant out.
DD on Miracle. They smoke immediately on that one, him and Kuro. They're trying to get a wraparound.
Let's see if they can grab GH. Trying to maintain control, taking these sentries out. We are looking for the reach in with the flame break. Won't quite be able to grab anyone. Over they go to Tiger. Tiger, he's got the Ghost Scepter. Will also be cold embraced. Can he actually escape this? He cannot. Another jump in from Miracle and a quick slice with the double damage. Bring down the Grim. The top lane pushing in as well as mid.
Miracle's in. He wants Boxy.
I mean, he's nearly going to get it. In fact, he does. That in combination with GH's Spirit Vessel meant that there was no help for Boxy. Could change his destiny there. Miracle already out, ready to clean out that bottom wave, make sure that all 3 lanes are pushing in against the base of Liquid, making it harder for them to defend as they have to make a decision of which lane to hold on to.
He looked like he was hunting. Yeah, he was hunting the bear there, and yeah, he can push bottom freely, as we mentioned before. They have the Chen, so he can just it's still called Rapture. Yeah, he can rapture him over to his team quite easily. So quickly push out that lane, and then they can keep Liquid trapped inside of the base for the time being, and still continue to grow that lead. And as you mentioned earlier, do they have any items coming out? Not really, as Weeha, he has the blink, he gets the grab.
A quick combo that we've seen them execute a few times this game. Lasso into Arrow.
Yeah.
Very, very solid way of taking down these heroes that usually are quite slippery, but Mickey still struggling this game. Just hasn't got the farm. I mean, none of Liquid's cores have, even with those last few mildly successful holds. They're still just falling further and further behind as Nigma are able to harvest the whole map. It's a 21,000 lead, yeah.
They had all 5 top net worth for a second there. On the side of Nigma. Kuroki, if you've clicked on him in the last moments, yeah, you're gonna be really excited about that one. He's a full hex.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, he does indeed. He's got 5,600 gold in the bank. He'll step over.
To buy it.
There we go.
He's about 50 gold away, or 25 gold away, and bam, there it is.
Okay. When you position sort of 5 just straight up buys a hex at 26 minutes, you know the game's going pretty well.
Yeah, and when you're playing with one of your main cores is a very reliable hero on his mobility, and you have a hex to play against now. It makes things complicated.
Yeah.
As Miracle,
he's in. I mean, he really has no fear this game. He is diving forward. Maybe he needed to do so as they do turn on him. Miracle, he's trying to get out of this. He's falling low. He's still alive somehow. He does manage to jump over to the neutrals. He's actually going to get away with diving in as aggressively as he is because of how far ahead his team is. He even jumps back in. He is not scared whatsoever as the whole Nigma team move into the base of Liquid, knocking back Mickey. Mickey trying to escape with the dissimulate. They're going to call it. They're going to call it. GG is there 27 minutes in. 36 to 10, 24,000 net worth lead for Nigma at the end of that one. And as we said, from the draft onwards, it was a very clear game plan that Nigma had. And Liquid, they obviously felt they had an answer, a way to slow them down with their lineup, but we just didn't see it here at all.